Hey everyone, it's me Joji, and today we're going to be doing a deck upgrade on an EX battle deck, which is going to be the Miraidon EX. Not even the good one though. Oh shoot, it is not the right Miraidon EX, is it? Which is what some of you might have realized buying this. That is not the EX that came from Scarlet and Violet base set. This is a different Miraidon EX that you're getting. Unfortunately, it is not the one that has, I'm forgetting the ability, but essentially the name of it, I'm forgetting the name of it, but it essentially lets you put two electric type Pokemon from your deck onto your bench. So it's a good way to set up Pokemon that way. This one unfortunately only has two attacks, which we'll show off in a second, but this is something that people might have accidentally bought for someone starting their journey into Pokemon TCG instead of maybe the League Battle deck from Miraidon EX or even the Deluxe EX Battle deck from Miraidon EX. There is three different battle decks for Miraidon. This EX battle deck, the Deluxe EX battle deck, and the League. I don't think it's called League EX battle deck, but I want to say the League battle deck. So there is three different ones. If someone said, "Hey, mom," or "Hey, dad, I really want to get into Pokemon TCG. Can you get me the Miraidon EX deck?" There are three different products that that person could have accidentally got. Maybe they wanted them to get them this, which is not the best one. Maybe, but presumably they wouldn't want to get one of the other two, which has the better Miraidon EX. But again, someone like that doesn't know what the Miraidon EX that person might be expecting. The good one might be getting this for them instead. But of course, we don't want to just have this go to waste, especially if the person already opened it. It's pretty much unreturnable that way. So we're going to go ahead and upgrade this and see if we can make this a bit better as a starting point. Again, this is a level 1 EX battle deck, a level 1 deck, I should say. So this is a starting point for a lot of Pokemon players. So presumably if someone sees this and someone says, "Ah, yes, I'm going to get this deck because it says start here because my son, daughter, significant other, friend is starting to play Pokemon. This is probably where they're going to start and get them. So let's make this a bit stronger so it can be a bit more viable, even consider maybe like a Deluxe EX battle deck." So let's go ahead and open it up and see what cards and contents we're getting with it. Let's open up the side here. It does tell you the deck list on the side here, but we're just going to go ahead and see the cards because it does say Electro, Voltorb, Raichu, Pikachu, Kilowattrel, Wattrel, and Cyclizar. But there are many types of those cards currently out there. So I am not confident as to which ones they have added into here. I'm almost guessing they're not the best of those versions. Because there's a few Raichus that I would definitely recommend adding to this list or this deck. But if it didn't come with those, you're going to have a bad time. As always, we get, unfortunately, the regular EX coins, not the special ones that we used to get with the Pokemon that EX deck is about. We get some cardboard damage counters for beginners, of course. Some quick guides for what you need to do to play, which is always, again, good for beginners. Ooh. Someone probably already saw that code card and redeemed it. But let me go ahead and show it to you guys. So hopefully if someone didn't catch it, you can redeem it yourself. There it is. This is going to give you the whole EX battle deck as is. So if you want a starting point, go ahead and get this. You can also get this in the game by using, I believe, the in-game currencies and get it that way. And then you can follow along and upgrade it as you see it happen. Let's see the Miraidon EX we were talking about. Again, this is not the one from base set. This is a completely new card with new attacks. I believe the HP is the same. I could be wrong. Maybe the other one's 230. I think this one's still 220. Sorry, the other one is still 220. Regardless, rapid draw 2 cards, does 20 damage, which is not bad. 20 damage for 1 energy and then drawing 2 cards. It's a good, like, maybe going second attack. And then Techno Turbo Techno Turbo. That's a interesting attack name. For 3 energy, 150 damage, and then attach a basic energy from your discard pile to one of your benched Pokemon. It does not specify any typing, which could be beneficial depending on what cards you add into this upgrade, which I'm already thinking there are a few cards that would benefit from this stipulation of not having a stipulation, I guess, of saying like electric Pokemon or something like that. So already have the gears turning on how to make this better. But overall, I definitely had wished that this had been a future Pokemon. I'm guessing they didn't make this a future Pokemon because they would have messed up the card design here, because I think it goes here for future and it would be blocking his face a bit. I mean, you could have at that point flipped his head to face the other way. But it not being a future Pokemon does limit how we can upgrade this card. Also, keep in mind this is a promo card. I don't think this was ever printed in any other way. We do have, of course, the rule books as well, and a playmat if you want to try it out. Unfortunately, not a cool playmat anymore. It is... Oh, that one's upside down. It is a fire and lightning on the back, because the counterpart to this one is a Victini EX battle deck, which we will not be upgrading, unfortunately, because by far that is the worst thing I've ever seen. Every time a Victini has come out, the victory Pokemon doesn't seem very victorious as an upgrade, unfortunately. And it requires way too much work to the point where it no longer becomes a Victini EX deck. So I will avoid doing that upgrade, unfortunately. If you did get that one, my suggestion is get another one, unfortunately. Maybe add some Entei Vs or Gouging Fires and some, I forget what they're called. It's the stadium that attaches energies, fire energies to it. But anyways, we have the deck box, which is a nice starting point. The cards aren't sleeved though. And also the cards are not in any order specifically. So give me 1 second and we'll reorganize these and show them off. Okay, so the deck list is very interesting. I do approve of some of the cards they added. Some really good cards for electric type decks. But let's go ahead and start with the Pokemon. So of course we saw the Miraidon EX. Then we get a 4-3 line of the Voltorb and Electrode. So the Electrode here is pretty basic. It has Lightning Ball for 60 and then Rolling Tackle for 90. Lightning Ball using only 1 and then Rolling Tackle using 3, which is quite a bit. Has 90 HP, so it's going to get knocked out pretty easily by most cards. Voltorb's not really worth mentioning, but Electrode here is. So most of the time, if you're starting off and only using the deck as is, I think Electrode is going to be your main attacker for the most part in this deck in your first few turns, because again, it does 60 damage for 1 energy is a really good starting point. That is going to knock out a few basic Pokemon that need to evolve, and that Rolling Tackle is pretty hard to get to, but after 3 turns you'll at least be doing that 90. Moving on, we have another Pokemon. We have a 3-2 line of Wattrel and Kilowattrel. 2 Kilowattrels. This one has a Skill Dive and Thunder Blast as its attack. Skill Dive is actually really good because you can attack one of your opponent's Pokemon. So it can be a benched Pokemon instead. So if they have a 50 HP or less Pokemon on their bench, you can use Kilowattrel for 2 energy to attack that instead of the active. So a good way to get around stuff like that. Thunder Blast, discard a electric energy from this Pokemon for 140 is not bad, but it's not great either. So I will say this thing's probably going to be used mostly for its Skill Dive, nothing more. Let's actually put this at the very bottom here. Electrode, you get a little bit more centered. All right. We'll leave it as is. Then we have our last electric type Pokemon. We have a 3-2 line of Pikachu, Raichu. So Pikachu is not that bad. It has charge on it, so you can search your deck for basic energy. It's like, electric energy, and attach it to this Pokemon. So you can set this guy up for its Raichu, which electrical grounding is good when a different Pokemon other than it gets knocked out. You can put one of those electric energy on the knocked out Pokemon to this Pokemon, so it charges it up a bit more, pun intended. And then you can use Thunder, 180 damage, but it also damages itself. So keep that in mind. It's not the best thing to do unless you expect to get knocked out. You can use Thunder and then have another Raichu right as you're active, and then another Raichu at you're benched. That way you can go ahead, do 50 to yourself, and then when they knock this out, that energy goes on to this Raichu to start attacking for you. That is one way of using this line here. Overall, it's a good one. I do know there's a different Raichu that instead of damaging itself, I think it damages all Pokemon on your opponent's side that have damage counters on them. So that one might be a bit better. We'll have to see how we end up upgrading. The last Pokemon in this list is Cyclizar, which I'll be honest right now, you can probably get rid of these cards. They are filler cards in my opinion. A lot of these EX battle decks always have some sort of filler Pokemon in them, and this is Cyclizar. Touring, draw 2, sure, it's a good draw support. I will say that this guy has no retreat, which means that you don't have to pay energy to retreat it from your active spot to your bench. So it's a good way to switch in and out that way. So it may be worth keeping if you're starting off, but there are a lot of other cards worth putting in instead of 2 Cyclizar. Moving on to the supporter cards we have in this list, we have 4 Nemona, which of course draw 3. It's a good, decent draw supporter for people that are starting out. It's a good, simple one too. You just get to draw 3. And then we get a bit more complicated with Youngster, making you shuffle your hand and then draw 5. Then we have 2 Rika, which gets even more complicated. Look at the top 4, put 2 of them into your hand, and then shuffle the other ones back into your deck. I will say that people might get tripped up if they're starting off with Rika specifically, let alone if we add in something like Iono for the upgrade. And then we have Jacques, which lets you search your deck for 2 evolution Pokemon, which, I mean, perfect for us because we have Electro, Kilowattrel, and Raichu to look for. And then shuffle your deck after you look for it. For our item cards, we have 4 Great Balls, which are great to start off with, but we can probably switch these out for something else. Maybe like Ultra Balls later. We have 3 Nest Balls, which is actually honestly a good card to have in this list. We do have, of course, the Miraidon that we can get. We can get the Voltorbs, the Pikachus, the Cyclizar, the Wattrells, everything there. We have 3 Switches, which are perfect. Again, if we need to switch out something more like, I actually don't know how much the Electro's retreat is. 1. So if we want to retreat for free, or the Miraidon, actually the Miraidon has a free retreat. Wow, actually, I didn't notice that the first time. This guy has a free retreat. No retreat cost. That's actually kind of good. I'm almost wondering why we even have the switches other than for Electro, Kilowattrel, and Raichu. Huh. Okay. That starts turning the gears a bit more because there's a lot of free retreat I'm seeing in this deck list here. But we also finish it off with 2 electric generators for our item cards, which are perfect for us because search the top, look at the top 5, and then put 2 lightning energies you find there onto your benched Pokemon. So it's a good way to charge up your Pokemon that way. We probably will bump this up to 4 though. Usually it's a rule of thumb, if you're running a lightning type deck, you want to have 4 electric generators. Now for the energy, as always, they give us 18 energy. Funny enough, I'm thinking of keeping 16. That is very similar to how most Miraidon EX decks run in the current meta, that they have 16 energy on them, so or in them. So it might be worth just like adding 16 of these and just setting aside 2 for maybe switching these out for the electric generators or something. But as is, it does come with 18 of these. So that is the list as is. Like I said earlier, a few of these things stand out. Of course, we're going to have to increase the amount of electric generators. I think we might not need the switches as much because of how much free retreat I'm seeing on some of these cards. The Great Balls definitely can be switched out for a few other things. Same thing with the Nest Balls. And these Pokemon lines, I think we can maybe clean them up a bit and add some other EX Pokemon that will make this list a bit stronger. Same thing goes with some of these supporters. I like Limona being just a draw 3, but there's definitely other cards that you can use instead for draw supports in the current format. So let's go ahead and see what this upgrade looks like. Before we go on, why not get subscribed? It lets me know that you like this sort of video. And if you are subscribed, thank you so much, but double check because YouTube does unsubscribe people. I will say I try to keep this initial upgrade, again, it's for beginners mostly, and so it's not going to be that advanced when I show it off. And I will say the value of all these upgrades should total a little bit under $50, so you don't have to worry about breaking the bank your first time upgrading this. And of course, from this point you can even upgrade it even further. So of course we are starting off with the Miraidon we did get, but we are going to be adding in the other Miraidon and possibly the better of the Miraidons they've given us. This one, of course, is the one with Tandem Unit, which lets you grab 2 of your basic lightning Pokemon and put them onto your bench. Definitely better than the one they provided us. So we have 2 of those to go along with the other Miraidon. I think right there is good. Then we have, I did want to keep some of the cards other than just the Miraidon EX they gave us. And I do like the Raichu line here, but instead of having 3 Pikachu, I did switch it to 2 and 2. It is a... I don't like the attack really because it's doing damage to itself, but the ability is not bad, especially if you expect one of your electric type Pokemon to get knocked out. At least it's charging this one up so you can use this as a single prize attacker. So there is that as an option. So we are running, of course, a 2-2 line of that. Then we have a Zapdos here. This one is here for the lightning symbol, so you can do 10 more damage with your attacks. We have a Raikou V to do some damage based on how many cards are on the benches. And of course, it does have that draw support on Fleet-Footed. And then for our last electric type Pokemon, it is going to be Iron Hands EX. This guy here hits like a truck. Arm press 160 is not as much, but Ampy very much, while doing less, has the great effect of taking 1 more prize card when you get a knockout with that attack. So knocking out some weaker Pokemon with it is a great way to at least give this deck a bit more of an edge. So that's the electric type Pokemon. There are other Pokemon in this deck. We are adding in a Lumineon for some draw support that way for supporters. I actually put you down here. We have a Pheasantipede EX for some draw support when we get knocked out. We have a Squawkabilly for draw support on our first turn. And I don't have one on me at the moment, but this would have been a Blood Moon Ursulune. I'll show it on the screen there. Its attack, I believe, is just called Blood Moon, and it does 240 damage, but you can't use that attack next turn. So you have to switch it out for something else to attack with the next turn instead. But its ability does let you go ahead and hit for less energy. It does cost 5 energy to begin with, but the more prize cards your opponent has taken, they will be your Blood Moon Ursulune will require less energies to attack with. So that's going to be the last Pokemon in this deck. As you can kind of see, we did get rid of a lot of the cards that were included. Again, they aren't that great if you're trying to at least be a bit more competitive. And of course, I did try and keep the value of these pretty cheap. So I think the most expensive card here, not including like considering the rarities on these, is going to be Iron Hands. Just as an ultra rare, this one I believe goes for about $10 US. So keep that in mind. This is the most expensive card. Use these Miraidons you can get for like 50 cents at most places. And then Squawkabilly, Pheasantipede, Lumineon, and the Blood Moon Raikou, and even the Zapdos are probably not going to run you any more than, I'd say, maybe $20 total for those cards. Anyways, moving on to our supporter cards, we're going to have 3 Boss's Orders. We're going to have 3 Arven and a Professor's Research. Now, as you can kind of see, we did get rid of a lot of those supporters, while Nemona and I believe the other one was Rika did have decent draw support. It was 3, and then the other one was only 2, but you get to choose of 4 cards. I do think there are better cards, of course, as you can see here. If you wanted to keep something like the Youngster, I would suggest maybe putting in an Iono instead. That way it disrupts your opponent's hand, and honestly, I suggest putting a disruption card into each deck you ever build. It is very helpful against playing towards the late game, especially in Iono, putting them down to maybe like 1 or 2 prize cards. But this deck doesn't really want to put cards back. They want to have a full hand at all times. There's a lot of cards that will help them draw support a lot faster, so Iono messing that up is a bit more detrimental than helpful in this type of deck. Let's move on to the item cards. We're gonna have 4 electric generators to attach energy. Did come with 2, so we're adding 2 more, but of course, I mean, you have to have 4 electric generators for any electric type deck nowadays. We are adding in Ultra Ball, so we're getting rid of the Great Ball. In lieu of Ultra Ball, we're bumping up the number of Nest Balls to 4. And then we're keeping the switches, but I will note that you could switch these out for switch cards instead. Because you have a lot of basic Pokemon, you can use that instead, but I'm keeping them as switches because we do have the Raichu still in this deck. So keep that in mind if you're going to switch these for anything else, use switch cards, but again, switch cards won't work for the Raichu. We have a Super Rod, and then our A-Spec, again, one of the cards I don't have at the moment, is going to be a Secret Box. Now, Secret Box is a bit more new, so I'm not too familiar with it, but I believe what it does is you have to discard 3 cards in order to use it from your hand. And when you do, you get to get a Pokemon tool, a stadium, a supporter, and an item card. So 4 cards for 3 cards. It's not bad, honestly. So you can get a lot of good cards that way if you're starting up. Maybe you get the Secret Box, discard some stuff, grab the items you need to prepare, maybe the electric generator, the Arven to get another electric generator, things like that. You can combo the Secret Box very well in this deck. And that's why we run that as our A-Spec. A suggestion, if you wanted to use something else other than the Secret Box, of course, you can use Prime Catcher. I believe would probably be the best option in this deck. Other than that, you could use maybe Unfair Stamp if you do want to put some disruption into this deck. That won't be detrimental to you because you are still going to be drawing 6 cards instead of based on how many prize cards you've taken, like Iono would. So, just some considerations if you don't want to run Secret Box. Now, let's finish off our Pokemon trainer cards with our only Stadium Town Store to grab things like our Vitality Band, our Bravery Charms, or our Forest Sealed Stone. That is going to finish off all the trainer cards. Let's move on to the energy. We are going to get a total of 16 lightning energy. So 16 of these, keep that in mind. But rounding it out for a total of 18 energy, technically if you count each one as 2, the double turbo energy, 2 of these. These are here for in case you need to power up your Iron Hands EX to use Ampy very much. You will be doing only 100 damage, but most of the time that's more than enough damage anyways. So that's that. That's there for that Iron Hands, or if you wanted to use it for the Blood Moon or Saluna, you can do that as well. But that is the deck as I would upgrade it for a beginner. So this is pretty beginner friendly, I'd say. It's kind of difficult, I'd say, for a beginner to kind of understand how to use this as like draw supporting, really like set up your bench correctly. But I think with a bit of practice, a beginner could easily pick this up and play pretty well with it. Now, of course, like I mentioned, there are considerations. The Secret Box could be replaced with Prime Catcher, and then, of course, you want to replace maybe this Miraidon with the better Miraidon. But there's also a different variation of the deck that I would suggest now that the newest set, Stellar Crown, is out. So let me go ahead and show that to you, and that will be the last bit before we get into gameplay with this version of the deck. If you want to catch gameplay footage of the other deck, we are going to be releasing a video for that one a little bit later, maybe this week or next. So keep that in mind if you want to play that version of Miraidon EX from Stellar Crown. But for now, let's look at it, and then we'll get into some games after that. Okay, so before we go into the actual upgraded version that we're going to be showing off for gameplay, like I said, I did want to show this off as a potential version of the deck if you're willing to get some of those Stellar Crown cards now into it. It is going to be a bit more costly, but I think it is still worth getting this version of the deck. So we have two Miraidon EX, the better Miraidon in my opinion. We're not using the promo card that came with the EX battle deck. We are still using a Raikou and Iron Hands, but we're adding in a Raichu V in lieu of those Raichu and Pikachu. We have a Mewtwo EX, which is going to be helpful because we need a Terra Pokemon to use Area Zero underpaths, or under depths, I mean. You need to have this in order to make your bench a lot larger. And the reason we're going to want it to be a large bench is because we're going to bench things like Zapdos, Lumineon, Squawkabilly, Mew, Blood Moon Ursaluna, Pheasantipity. We're going to want to get these cards to be able to set up our bench correctly, and then get our hand set up and all our Pokemon set up as soon as possible with all the draw support, with all the abilities, and setting up that way. We do run Blood Moon. I don't remember if I said Mew. We have an Iron Bundle and a Radiant Greninja EX, Radiant Greninja, and a Terapagos EX. These are there, of course. This is a backup for Mewtwo, and also this can technically attack. Sorry, I had to really quick just add Lightning Energy to it because I realized it didn't put them in because it is using the new version from Stellar Crown, which isn't in Limitless's card search yet. But like I was saying, Terapagos can attack unlike the Mewtwo EX can. So this one only uses colorless for unified beatdown, while Mewtwo needs psychic energy. So this is there just for setup, using Area Zero under depths instead of like the Terapagos. So keep that in mind. This guy will not be your attacker. So if you discard the Area Zero under depths, or it gets discarded for you, you want to get rid of this Mewtwo because it's pointless to have on the bench. We are running 3 Boss's Orders, 2 Arven instead, 2 Cassiopeia, which are a new card that you have to have this as your last card in order to use it, and then you search your deck up for 2 cards and put them into your hand. It works similar to, I want to say it was the Rapid Strike Mustard and Single Strike. Maybe it wasn't. Those actually move things from the discard, I believe, but it's the same kind of concept where they have to be the last card in your hand in order to use the effect of it. We have 4 Ultra Ball, 4 Nest Ball, 4 Electric Generators, those switch cards like I mentioned in the previous part that you could use instead, a Hisuian Heavy Ball, the Secret Box we already had. We're bumping this up into 2 instead of having the 2 Bravery Charm. We have the Rescue Board in this now, like I mentioned earlier, Area Zero under depths. And then we have only 1 DTE and then 15 energy because we did add in some cards into the stack to compensate for, you know, some of the stuff that we'll need for the Terra setup. So this thing, honestly, it's very like turbo if I had to say anything else. It is very fast on setup. I definitely like this version more than the amateur, what do I want to say, than the beginner version that I did for the upgrade. But I will say this is a bit more difficult to pilot, so keep that in mind. If you want to at some point go from the upgraded version to this, that is my suggestion. Go that way. Don't just jump into this one. Kind of get a feel for how Miraidon runs with just a bench of 5. Because once you get this bench of 8, you are definitely going to be setting up really quick, and you want to get your sequencing correctly. But anyways, this is just the preview of the deck that we're going to be using in a different video, so keep that in mind. Maybe get subscribed so you don't miss that one when it comes out. But for now, we're going to go ahead and get into some gameplay for the other version of the upgraded deck that we showed earlier. Hopefully we get a good setup. Okay, that's not a good setup at all. I do not like seeing Blood Moon Ursaluna as my first card. I mean, they're just in as a difficult spot as I am, but this guy takes a lot more to retreat. Actually, no, they take the same amount, actually. I thought Charizard was 2. My bad. I just need a switch, though. That's all I need. This does look like a Charizard EX deck. Let's Ultra Ball this and Bravery Charm away to get this Miraidon so we can set up our bench. Okay. We're gonna get the other Miraidon so we can get one more Pokemon after this. And I think I'm gonna go with the Iron Hands. Okay, so we get 2 more Pokemon. I'm almost tempted to go for the Raichu. It does 180, which is not bad in this matchup. Actually, it would do more if I had the Zapdos, but it is prized. Alright, let's see what we can attach. We're attaching 2. Alright. I do like that. I'm almost tempted to attach there and pass, yeah. Because we can DTE to it next turn to retreat, but then we don't have any way to attack. Kind of both stuck here at the moment. Doesn't have an Arven though. Rare Canning and 4 Sealed Stone. I would like a 4 Sealed Stone. Ooh, they might actually be able to set this guy up to attack too. Well, I don't know if they want to commit that much energy. Looks like they're not going to commit anything. They're just going to pass. Okay. You know what? I'm going to attach here. And pass. If Blood Moon gets knocked out, it gets knocked out. But it will take 2 turns to knock out, to be fair. Okay, now they're going to be able to retreat. Oh, Iono. That's fine too. There's a Raichu. I would like that Raichu before it knocks it out so we can get the energy onto it for Thunder. Raichu does go easy into the Pidgeot too. As a single prizer, that's a perfect shot there. But we need a boss's orders for that to happen. We could get the 4 Sealed Stone actually for that play. I'm gonna put up Raikou. Oh, never mind. I was gonna say if they knock me out, but that's not happening. Let's put the Raichu up. Let's Town Store. We're gonna 4 Sealed Stone for a supporter here. Man, do I attach? Make it more difficult. Put the Bravery Charm on it. Let's start Alchemy. Alright, we need a supporter. We could go for the boss play. Actually, no, we can't. Why would I do that? I'm silly. I'm gonna go for the Arven. I could go for the Secret Box play. Right now. Get the Arven and item Poketool supporter in Stadium. Bar in the Stadium. I do get rid of that only Bravery Charm. Yeah, let's go for the Streak box. Actually, you know what? I could just get rid of the Nest Ball and 2 energy. I'm going to do that. Alright. Arven. Item. Tool. Alright, cool. I think what we do now is Arven for another electric generator. Actually, I do kind of want the switch. But I could also go electric generator. We're both kind of stuck here. If I switch, there's no real point to it. So I'm just going to go electric generator, power up my Pokemon instead. All right. Now that's 1. Let's put this on Iron Hands. That is also only 1. What the heck? All right. We're going to put this on Raichu or Raikou? I think I'll put it on Raichu. And I'm going to go ahead, attach another one here. Do I Bravery Charm? I think no. I saved the Bravery Charm. All right, pass. We are slow attaching for a retreat here. All right, they burned 3 to retreat into Charizard. Putting those 3 back. Nice. Iono. Helpful, honestly. Okay, Luminion. They're only doing 180 damage right now, which is fine. Lost Vacuum. My town store? Okay, that makes sense because I did kind of need that for the Vitality and Bravery Charm, but that's fine with me. I could retreat and then swing with Arm Press. I'm almost tempted. Retreat. Wonder if I can get... Ooh. Okay. That's not what I wanted. I gotta... What's the word? I need to get rid of this Luminion? No. I'm actually gonna have to probably. I'm gonna get rid of this Pikachu. I probably should have gotten rid of the Squawkabilly. We have to use the professor's research here. Okay, there are some cards. They are definitely cards. We're attaching there. Retreating into Iron Hands. Vitality, so we can do 170. Yes. We'll still be short though. I think if we had Zapdos, this would have been a better play right now. Alright, Arm Press 170. Because we would have done 180 and then we would have done 140 with Amp You Very Much for 3 prize cards. There's an Airy. Okay, we didn't have any item cards, so that was kind of pointless. I think what we can just do here, though, is just Arm Press twice. We didn't even need this. But, to be fair, we could Amp You Very Much the Barrel. Or even Arm Press Knockout Pidgeot here. think we do that. I'm gonna set this charm up on a Miraidon here. Boss up the Pidgeot. We're out of bosses, unfortunately, I just realized. So we're not going to be able to boss play for this Rotom. Alright, Arm Press, knock this out. When they knock us out, we'll have the Raichu ready. The Raichu actually can knock out that Charizard EX. And they'll only be taking one prize card from that Raichu. Wow, okay. Straight into the knockout. That's fine. We can swing with the Raichu now. We do need to power some stuff up. Let's Arven for... what do we want, actually? A Turo scenario would be really great to reset this Blood Moon. Alright, yeah, well, all we have is Switch. Ooh, it's looking scarce. Okay. That's fine. Let's try and hit something off this electric generator. Okay, we hit one. I think we put this onto Miraidon. Put another one onto Miraidon. Let's flip the script for 3. Okay. Let's take the knockout now. We gotta 2-turn this, essentially. We might win the prize race here. That was not the right play for them. They should have put up the Charizard instead. Or, okay, never mind. That does suck. Okay. My guess is now that they have another boss in hand ready, and they can just boss game. That's my guess. We'll have to see. $300 damage, yeah. Raichu will knock this out. Or sorry, we'll do enough to get it into knockout range, but it's gonna be tough. I think I don't bench anything else, just power this guy up. And then I just go for the swing here. I could flip the script. Ooh, actually, hold on. Do I have anything else I could set up? How many electric generators? I've spent all my electric generators. I could try and get the Blood Moon back in. Is there a play where the Blood Moon comes in handy? I don't think so. I don't think the Iron Hand comes in handy either. So I'm just gonna flip the script for these last few cards. Okay. I could maybe have gotten an Iron Hands ready, but let's swing. Let's see if he has the boss for game. I think that's the only way he wins right now. He bosses something up for the game. Rare candy. There's the other Charizard. Or he switches. He switches. He does switch. And now we don't have to worry. He just switches this out, and this is the healthy one. If we had... oh, well, there's the boss for game. But if we had another boss's orders, we could have still knocked it out somehow. But yeah, that's the one thing about this version of the deck. I think it still needs some sort of disruption, like the unfair stamp, or at least one Iono. I don't like starting Squawkabilly. Okay. I guess maybe we can motivate. Put this energy back onto something. I suppose. Unless we attach it to something. What are we playing against here? Ooh, Hoot Hoot is weak to lightning. Good to know, especially for the Noctowls. I'm guessing maybe a Fan Rotom is coming up. There's an Area Zero Underdepths. So I'm guessing this might be the colorless version of the deck for Terapagos. There's the Fan Rotom going down. He's probably getting another Hoot Hoot and Noctowl, yeah. And there's a Bidoof, okay. We draw support there. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we won't be getting a knockout next turn, but it might be possible if we get maybe Raikou set up. That does require us switching out Squawkability. I keep saying Squawkability for some reason. I think just because of the name. But Squawkability with maybe an energy or switch card. There's a Pikachu, which actually does come in handy in this matchup too. Let's do that. Let's Town Store. Put the energy on here. Do we charm you so you don't get knocked out easily? Plus not like waste the charm. So I think that's fine. Oh wow, that is a lot of energy that I didn't want. And also we're gonna lose the Forest Sealed Stone. Okay. Oh, that's unfortunate. That's a lot of energy we just lost. Wow, 6 energy lost already. That is not great at all. But I guess we will have to motivate here. Iron Hands, Raikou, and then we're gonna use the Nest Ball to get. I think Zapdos is gonna come in handy with the counts here. Okay. I guess we just motivate here. Put 2 of those basic energy onto the Iron Hands. That was unfortunate. We lost so much energy and then the Forest Sealed Stone as well. Only bright side here is that we used Motivate to attach here, so. Town Store. I didn't even use it. I could have used that to grab. Well, was there anything really that I could have grabbed? Another Bravery Charm or the Vitality Band? I can get those later. I could just motivate again too. Oh, never mind. He's retreating. What would he retreat into? This is probably grabbing a supporter and then something else. I do like the Jewel Seeker ability on Noctowl. I'm glad that they reprinted Inteleon in some way. Residentipity, okay. Did he not? Oh, he doesn't have a Terra Pokemon, right? There's that stipulation if you have any Terra Pokemon in play. Ooh, he did not have a Terra Pokemon. That's unfortunate. Yeah, let's go ahead and Town Store real quick. Okay, so we don't have any more. We do need to get some of these cards here somewhere. It goes on to only a single Pokemon, right? To one of your bench Pokemon. So what I'm going to do is attach this to Raikou. And then I'm going to motivate again. I could actually get Raichu as well. You know what? Because they're going to be getting motivated anyways, I'm going to go ahead and get the Raichu. When this gets knocked out, maybe we can power this guy up. Okay. Another motivate. Put these onto Iron Hands. Okay, so Iron Hands is powered up. You can knock out pretty much everything here except for the Pheasantipity and get 2 prize cards. Yeah, that's important. I think they forgot that stipulation. I did too when he played it. Um, that he needed a Terra Pokemon. And I guess he just hasn't gotten his Terapagos EX, which is kind of weird because I believe most of these are running at least 3 in their deck. I'm guessing they're using this just to shuffle and double check. Bravery Charm. Going on to Pheasantipity most likely. Kind of would be a waste. I think just keeping it there ready for the Terapagos would be better. I'm guessing they're putting up Pheasantipity. No, they're putting up Noctowl. That is free right there. That's a free 2 prize cards. Okay, doing 40 damage with Speedwing. I think this is just out of desperation at this point. I mean, sure. I suppose that was definitely a play you could have done. You know, I'm gonna power up Raikou all the way. Retreat here. Put this guy up. I'm gonna put this to here so they can do more damage. Alright, let's amp you very much. Take our 2 prize cards. Grab 5 and 6. Okay, not bad. This Miraidon may come in handy later. It will be doing 40 damage to certain Pokemon. Maybe the Vitality Band should have gone onto it. Terapagos has 230 HP base. I think I should have put this onto Raikou V. Because it will be doing 230 if all benches are filled. And I'm guessing at some point they are going to put the Area Zero down and they will have a bigger bench as well, which does increase Raikou's damage. Yeah, I should have saved that for Raikou, I think. Because if we all have benches of 8, that is 16 extra damage. That's, what is that? 200 and... I'm not doing that math right, am I? Because 10 is 200. 6 more is... Am I doing that math right? That's ridiculous numbers. Okay. Maybe... I'm going to have to try this with the Terra Pokemon in it as well for the Raikou V version. Or sorry, for the Miraidon version with Terra Pokemon in it. Alright, I'm guessing they're getting their Terapagos now at this point. And hopefully we don't have to worry about it too much. I think its damage is based only on their bench, not mine as well. So if they don't have... If they have a full bench, I think it's 20 times? Or it's 30 times, I think. Or is it 30 plus? We'll see it when it gets benched. Okay, Unified Beatdown, 30 times. Okay, so if they have a full bench of 8, that's 240 damage. Ooh. Ooh, that's not good, actually. Glass Trumpet. That does power him up. Does he have the other energy to attack with? He also doesn't have a lot of benched Pokemon now that I think about it. So, oh, okay, well, that helps him a bit. That is a really good last card to have. Okay. He could definitely get, there's the last energy, but he could definitely get to 240 here. You know, I'm tempted to suggest, even in this version, to consider maybe putting in, if you can afford it, either a Terapagos EX or a Mewtwo, even if you don't have the Area Zero Underdepths in the list. Because most of the time, if you run into one of them, that means that you just pivot slightly and make sure that you have a Terra Pokemon on the field as well to benefit from their Area Zero under depths, while also not having to worry about adding that card in. Anyways, they're buddy poffing. And you just need one more. Do they get it? Because that's 7, that's only 210. They need one more for knockout. Ooh, the Bibarel might get them there. If it draws 3, if it draws a single basic Pokemon, he does have knockout. Does he have it? He's switching. That doesn't necessarily mean he has the last card, though. He may only be going for 210. Oh, he's only going for the 210. Ooh, that was lucky of us. Okay. Super Rod. We could get some energy back. I like that idea. But he can also wait until Iron Hands gets sent back, because we haven't used any electric generators. So we could feasibly get Iron Hands back into play and knock some other stuff out. I'm going to just Arm Press for knockout, because then I can threaten with Raikou next turn. I think that's what I do. Or an Arm Press just for damage. I said knockout. I'm guessing they're going to be benching soon. They could use knockdown now. They have 2. I think it says once per turn, actually, now that I think about it. Where? Oh, he must have super rotted it back. Ooh, hold on. Crown Opal is going to be a problem. Prevent all damage done to this Pokemon from attacks of basic non-colorless Pokemon. That is a problem. Let's attach one there. That is definitely a problem. I'm going to put up Raikou. Maybe I can power up Raichu in time. It is a possibility. It is definitely a possibility. I'm going to go ahead and Super Rod back 3 energy. No Iron Hands. Actually, maybe Iron Hands. Do I put just 2 energy in Iron Hands? No. I'm going for the Raichu play. Alright, thin it out a bit. That is a Miraidon. I guess I grab the Miraidon. Because it is a thin. I'm going to go ahead and fleet-footed. Ooh, that is an energy. Okay. I need to get 1 energy off of this electric generator for Raichu. We get 2. That is very lucky. Alright, let's attach there. I'm going to head and attach this to Raikou because you're going to lose one. Alright. Raichu here does 190 for knockout. Oh, man, that... Oh! They're about to... Oh my gosh, they're about to discard like most of their bench because of that. Because that was their only Terra Pokemon. And now the Area Zero Underdepths forces them to discard until they have 5. Ooh, I'm guessing Fan Rotom, maybe the Manaphy. Yeah, okay. Ooh, that's tough though. Okay. Because now it's going to be harder for them to set back up Even if they put a Terapagos, they have to get all those Pokemon back up there. That's why I think you usually want to have at least 2 Terra Pokemon on your field. Yeah. Ooh. They do get the flip the script, so they could feasibly hit it. I'm wondering if Raiku's still a play here. Ooh, the nice Terapagos. I actually pulled that one recently too in a video I did for the booster box game. If you guys want to check that out, it will be linked over in the little eye in the corner. And maybe in the description. You never know. Okay, they definitely need to set up more cards though. But is that also beneficial for us? Because if they don't put a Bravery Charm, we can easily knock this guy out. Possibly with Raikou, depending on how many cards they put up. Because we're doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 220. If they bench another Pokemon, and we bench another Pokemon. Ooh, okay, so now we're doing 240. If they put 2 more, we're doing 280. We counter their Terapagos with a Raikou, benefited by their bench. Ooh, okay. As long as they don't hit us with a Crown Opal, we win by that play there. They could also just under play and only put 1 benched Pokemon. There's also an option. I'm guessing they're getting the Bravery Charm if they have it. I don't see any more, just that one. They have lost a lot of energy. I don't know how many they run here. I'm guessing they're only running like 1 of, maybe, sorry, not 1, 2 of each. Let's see. That's gonna have to attach to there. Could attach to 2, but I'm guessing maybe they only attach to 1 here. Ooh, going for the Bouffalon play? Maybe. That is an option. So you don't have to worry about actually this Bouffalon also becomes a problem if they put the Bravery Charm on it. Alright, let's see here. Energy switch. Okay, yeah, they're going with the Bouffalon play. What do we need then? We need a boss's orders. We have 2 more somewhere in the deck. If we get a Luminion, that's perfect. Okay. Well, they went Crown Opal this way. Shoot. There's an Iono. We win? Okay, that is an unfortunate Iono from them, or for them, because we do get the Luminion, which gets us our boss, which we can use to boss up the Pheasantipity and knock that out. Definitely unfortunate. Unless they counter catcher up the Raikou and knock it out, that is also a possibility. I shouldn't get ahead of myself. They still haven't played. I haven't seen them either, so I'm assuming he plays at least 1 counter catcher. Most lists do run 1. Because he can't use a boss's order. He hasn't used a spec card either. So he could have that as an A spec for a prime catcher. The answer is no. Okay. So unfortunately, we win. Well, fortunately for us, unfortunate for them, we win just based off that. All right. I do want to see the crazy amount of damage Raikou is now doing because of this. We get a switch. Let's just, you know what? Let's play the Luminion. I could see an concede here, but I don't think it's gonna happen. Maybe it will. Maybe it won't. All right, that's game 270. Oh, because of the Zapdos. Oh man, we had one more benched. That would have been 290. As ridiculous damage from a Raikou. I was not expecting that ever from a Raikou V. I'm interested to see how Suicune and Entei will be doing because of things like Area Zero Underdepths and Terra Pokemon. I think there's going to be some viability for those Pokemon in the early game to see how well which one fits into different decks. I think even Palkia is going to be really good because of that as well. We are going to be covering that one. Anyways, that was all the gameplay we're going to be showing for today. Let's go ahead and get back to the list. So that was the upgraded version of the Miraidon EX battle deck. What did you guys think? My honest opinion, probably not a good idea to go out and get this version of Miraidon EX for the battle deck. There is, of course, the Deluxe EX battle deck that just came out. I believe it was also in a different EX Deluxe battle deck that came out before with this Miraidon here, and you can also get this guy in a League battle deck. So there's a lot of other versions of this Miraidon EX that you can get, which are going to be a lot better in my opinion. Of course, we had to do some sort of upgrade to make this viable, so unfortunately we did lose maybe about what 70-80% of the cards that we had initially. But actually I wouldn't say 70-80, maybe like about 60 to 70% of the cards, because we do have the switches, the nest balls, the electric generators. We did keep a lot of these energies here, of course the Miraidon, Pikachu, and Raichu. So we did keep a good amount of the cards that we initially started with, but there were a lot better cards that we did add in. Of course, we saw the Raikou do that crazy damage at the end there. We saw Raichu, of course, this one of the original cards from the list, do some good damage there, cleaning up some Pokemon and even setting some up that way. But yeah, I think this Raichu does have some potential to be added. Honestly, my suggestion, if you wanted to run something like this, maybe go with the Luxray. I forget what set it's from, but there is a Luxray, I'll show it on the screen, that goes onto your bench without having to evolve into it because of its ability. So there is that option if you do want to have something that does 180 damage that way. It is going to be a good card for things like the Pidgeot EX and anything that is weak to lightning damage and can easily get knocked out by 360 damage, which is most stuff. So yeah, I do like this Raichu, but there are a few things that are a bit better than it. And this Miraidon, I do like the free retreat on it. Its rapid draw is a good turn 1 attack, but its Techno Turbo for 3 energies, it does help attach 2 energies, but you could just easily just use Motivate, which is a bit better because you attach 2, and for a turn 1 attack, that is a lot better than having to do Techno Turbo or just rapid draw. Again, I do like the free retreat. I kind of wish this guy had been a future type. If he had been future, I think his viability would be a lot higher because you could attach the future boost energy onto him and added 20 more damage that way, and then put down maybe like 2 or 3 Iron Crowns, adding more damage that way as well. So he would be, let's see, if you only had 2 Iron Crown EX on the field plus the future boost energy capsule, that is an extra 60 damage on his rapid draw. So 80 damage and drawing 2 cards is not a bad thing for just 2 energies. And then that 60 gets added onto Techno Turbo for 210 is actually even better. than just doing 150 and then the attach that way. It is closer to the damage that you see from this Miraidon just off the Photon Blaster. But yeah, I think if they had reworked this guy into a Dragon type instead, sorry, not Dragon type, Future type instead, it would have been way better. But as it stands, it's kind of viable if you want the free retreat, but I honestly suggest dropping this and putting something else in its place. But yeah, if you want to try something else, why not go check out the other Miraidon EX, not EX battle deck, the EX list that we have out on the channel, probably already. It is the upgraded version for Stellar Crown, so it uses some Terra Pokemon to set up some big damage for things like Raikou, or even just get up a lot faster by putting all your Pokemon onto the field and then just removing that Terra Pokemon so you can get rid of any liabilities on the bench. But yeah, go check that out if it's up already. And if you want to check out some other videos, obviously get subscribed, because we're going to be doing so many more videos on Pokemon TCG. We are also branching out to some Pokemon Unite and some Pokemon video game stuff. So if you're interested in anything Pokemon related, this is the place to be. Anyways, guys, as always, stay safe and thanks for watching.